Alright, welcome back to another league race. This time we're with DNS, and this time we're in Hungary. You can see the conditions nice and dry running for both sessions. So uh, I was looking to obviously bounce back after obviously last week's calamity in Silverstone, but I had a good result in Singapore and TMC. We do have 18.2 as a banker, which I had plenty of time left in the locker when it came to that time. So yeah, so I wasn't completely like I was coming in with some confidence, and this lap basically. So I went for a second run, and yeah, so Shogun Mark here um, was also on the fast lap, but my fast lap was just infinitely quicker, and I got held pretty poorly at the last corner there, but most of that last sector to be fair. So obviously not his fault. No, if he's on a fast lap, he's on a fast lap, and I just got caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time. But went out for another run. Um, Oh yeah, one of the funnier things actually. Before that, we have two cars that have binned it into the pit lane, which was fairly amusing to me. And I could do with the laps, to be fair, because we'll get to that in a bit. But as things are moving quickly here, this is my quickest lap. Lots to make up, as I said before, and I'm gonna pump in a 17.4. I actually don't know what time I put in TMC for qualifying, but I don't think it was a 17.4. Actually, I'm curious out of curiosity, because I actually would love to know, because 17.4 is actually a solid time. Not on pole, which is Show George, basically. That's who that is. It breaks my heart by putting in a 17.2. That's a fantastic time, to be fair. So, anyway, starting P2 for the race. Let me see if I can pull this up quickly because I'd love to see it. I'd love to see if I could see my pole time, or not my pole time, my qualifying time as we're going through the setup here. And yeah, I did a 17.8 in TMC, like 4 tenths quicker, so I felt fairly good. Strategy fairly simple. I'm doing the one stop. I'm going onto the softs, and I already planned in advance that I'm going on to lap 15 on the super. So we shall see how that goes. Starting P2, lots of opportunities available today. I was feeling fairly okay heading into this one, but away we go. Decent start. I actually forget. I thought I had put up into Rich, forgot to do so, and by the time I did so, it was really late because obviously Steve here, SJD10, is alongside me. I have the inside for turn one, leaving the space on the outside. Again, I'm late getting to rich mixture, rich mixture, I should say, and leaving the space on the inside. And there we go. We have secured P2 for now, and yeah, just trying to settle into the race, not get any corner cuttings, particularly on this corner, and just want to keep the back end stable through that right-hander into sector 2. Those are the two main things. So kind of early phase of this race, Show George. I'm just going to call it Show George because I think it's just easier. It's just what I know. 1.5 up the road in this early stint, and I was kind of keeping balance with a second, like in 1.1 or so, ahead of Steve. So I was comfortable enough at that stage, but the longer this stint went into it, I lost a bit of confidence, and obviously as the degradation went on, I was just playing it cautious, and that allowed Steve to kind of catch up a bit. He was just quicker in this phase of the race. Have a bit of a hairy moment there as I get all out of shape heading up that right-hander uphill, but managed to keep the position. Hungary is obviously a track very difficult to overtake around, so track position is very, very key. But at the moment I don't have really an answer for Show George, but I wasn't sure what strategy he was going to be running, so it's all about playing the long game for me. But lap 9, I'm going to have a great bit of luck here because Show George actually is going to disconnect. Not sure what happened in his area or whatever, but he's going to disconnect, and I am going to come through and move into first place. And this changes obviously this will obviously change the dynamic of any race significantly, moving from second to first, especially around a track like Hungary where overtaking is very difficult. So now in many ways it's my race to lose, and I would feel kind of that I'd lost it if I didn't take it home from here. But lap 12, you can kind of see the gap. The longer the stint went on, I went away from me and then it came back to me a bit. I was feeling a bit more comfortable with just braking and such, and just taking corners in certain gears, and I feel like things kind of balanced a bit for me. I wasn't under as immediate of a threat from Steve behind me, and so move up the gap is 1.1 seconds. But Steve, right now, lap 15, he actually gets a puncture. He gets a puncture, I assume, on that rear left. And I was like, oh shit, do not say that, because I'm doing the exact same thing he is. I'm also around 70% or so. But I got lucky and he got super unlucky. Anyways, lap 15, it is time to make this stop. And Carl is going to join in as well. But he's going to have a compromised pit stop because his team weren't ready for him. His teammate had just come in. And so I'm going to pop out in P2 behind Steve. And I wasn't sure what strategy he was running. I wasn't sure how close he was in comparison for this lead. He wasn't in the kind of trio. There was kind of a 3-car kind of trio to begin this race. Well, 4-car trio. That's not a trio, you twat. It's a quartet. But with Show George, myself, Steve, and Carl was close behind. But that obviously became 3 as Show George disconnected. But HYT was kind of in that mix as well. And HYT actually undercut Carl and he jumped him in the pits. So unlucky for Carl there. But yeah, that's desperately unlucky for him. But the gap you might have saw was 2.8 seconds to Steve. I managed to rake that in quite quickly. And but now the difficult part, story of my racing week really, is trying to get past. I decided to use an 11 wing with 8 ballast just for a bit of stability, because I tried 9 ballast in Grand Prix mode, and the back end on this corner here, which I get a great run out of against compared to Steve, and I was going to throw it up the inside, but nothing was doing. Actually, I'm quite glad that didn't work out, because that could have been absolutely disastrous. But through that corner, that right-hander, the back end likes to step out for me with 9 ballast, so I was very cautious of that during the race. But with the higher, and I wanted a bit more front end grip as possible for the race, especially on these soft tires as well. So, and obviously near the end of the first stint, but dipping in the DRS of Steve, trying to see if there's an opening there, but there's nothing doing. So because I'm running a bit more downforce, I'm having trouble getting by people, and yeah, so that's just what this phase of the race is. Again, great run. This is lap 20 now, but nothing doing into this right-hander. I actually can't remember what turn this is. I think it's 13. Possibly 14. I think it is turn 13. My memory of this track corners is faded a bit, but we're going to actually get a pretty good run off. See, my hope was that I'd get a really good run off this corner and get on the throttle nice and early, get in the DRS, and then just hope for some slipstream to kind of take me towards Steve and then pass. But again, it's a quite short straight, this one, and I'm looking, but there's nothing quite doing for the time being. So I wasn't really worried about any cars behind, because at this stage you can see the gap on the map. I'm fairly alright with that. Lap 21, the gap behind me is coming down to HYT, but again, I'm there and thereabouts. It got a little closer this time, a little bit of contact, nothing doing. The DRS trying to head down into turn 2, but again, I'm close, but there's just, again, Hungary, as the great Murray Walker says, it's just like Monaco, but without the barriers. And that's the truth. It is so hard to overtake. And at this stage, I was just thinking, okay, let me play the long game then. If I can't get past, let me save some fuel, and maybe near the end of this race, if he's going to the end, these tires will come to me. Didn't have to come to that, because lap 25, Steve heads into the pits to put on himself super soft tires, and this released me into the lead, and that was kind of it in many ways. The only troubles I had later on in the race was I picked up a penalty, and I then picked up 2 warnings. So by lap 35, I am just trying for the life of me, and that was actually quite intense really, to keep that gap to HYT to at least over 3 seconds, just in case I got another penalty. And in case he hadn't got a penalty, and then I would obviously lose out in the win. I think I would have been very disappointed if I'd come all this way and then only to basically throw it away. So I'm very cautious into this left-hander, which has been pretty much where the most of my troubles have been all race in terms of penalties. 3.5 seconds, get up on the bit on that curb a bit. 3.5 seconds. I'm just trying not to cut this chicane either. That is also a place you can do it. I'm trying to. I've got, again, you see we've got kind of no fuel. Trying to be smooth, trying to be just calm, and just take it really, really cautiously. I'm just hoping that the gap is over 3 seconds, and you can see going to this final sector, it's 3.2, and I thought, oh, that's not good, but it's going to be difficult to make up 2 tenths in this last sector, providing I get everything right. So I'll get that last, second to last corner okay, and then nail this last one, and then I've got the last bit of reserves of fuel to blitz it to the line, and it was good enough. That is the win at Hungary, the long time win that was coming. And yeah, but look, it's a very somber win. Yesterday, my dog that I've not had the last 12 years, she passed away, and I've been grieving a bit, and it's been difficult. So this win is good, but it's not as good as it just came out in a difficult time. So don't get me wrong, I'm happy to pick up the win. It's my first win of the season in DNS, and I'm very pleased about that. But it is a somber win for me because of circumstances. So there you go. That is the win at Hungary. That actually moves me into second place in the standings. So, and with Steve not finishing today, the gap is 50 points. So it's not entirely out of the question I could win this title yet, but I will have to be on it the next couple of tracks. So yeah, there you go. That is the Hungarian Grand Prix. A somber one for me, but good to it was a good race to kind of take my mind off things for the time being, even if things are going to be difficult for me in the near future afterwards. But congratulations to HYT and Carl as well, especially HYT moving from 10th to 2nd. Fair play to him, and commiserations for Swanee for missing out on the points by 1/10 thanks to a penalty. But there you go, that's the Hungarian Grand Prix. That is it for DNS round number 11. Next up is Spa. I look forward to that track, so until next time.